Imagine ordering clothes for your child from what looks like a trusted online boutique. You get the confirmation email, you get a tracking promise, everything's ready to ship, your kids are gonna look good. Weeks go by, then months, you don't hear anything, and then suddenly business owner stops responding completely. Then you go on Facebook, you look up the company name, and boom, you see the owner of where you bought your little smock for your kid plastered on Fox News for being arrested for the 10th time. Now multiply that over 50 times, where we have victims across multiple counties accusing all of the same boutique owner of doing the exact same thing. We're breaking down the growing scam investigation involving the owner of Thomas & Turner Boutique, Brooke Pamela Schronce, the boutique bandit, today on Time Served. Thomas & Turner Boutique has marketed itself as a children clothing brand, and I guess in the South there's the thing called the smock. Maybe you guys could help me out in the comments. Parents placed orders online expecting new boutique-style outfits, many of them marked ready to ship, but according to investigators, that's where the problems began. Customers say they paid for multiple items, sometimes placed several orders over weeks, only to never receive a single shipment. And when they reached out for help, they claimed they were giving excuse after excuse. Authorities now say this wasn't just one unhappy customer. Detectives began Authorities say obviously this wasn't just one unhappy customer. Detective began identifying a pattern. People placing online orders, being promised shipping updates, being told refunds were coming, and then suddenly the communication would just stop completely. And for all of you out there who follow court and scams and fraud, we know that once the communication is over or never was started, you're screwed. In one reported case, a customer placed 4 separate orders between October and November, totaling over just $200, and by the end of December, nothing had arrived. There was also customers reporting up to $2,000 for a family of 4, and nothing. As complaints grew, law enforcement agencies across South Carolina started looking into this boutique, and what they found raised serious concerns. Investigators say at least 54 customers may have been impacted after placing orders and never receiving merchandise the first 5 times she was arrested, and now it's growing over 150 after this latest arrest, where I will be showing you bond hearings from 2 of them. Financial search warrants were executed, complaints were compared, and detectives say the alleged scam stretched from September 23 up until today. Total losses? How about over $100,000 reported by customers? In 2026 alone, Schronce has reportedly been arrested multiple times across different counties on similar allegations, obtaining property under fake pretenses, and breach of trust, which is the latest one with fraudulent intent. She's facing up to 5 years in jail and fines. Maybe this blonde, blue-eyed Barbie doll has to sit back in a cell and realize what she's doing to people on a daily basis, especially in today's economy. People are struggling for groceries, and you are scamming them for school clothes. Give me a break. Some of these charges stem from customers who say that they promised updates or refunds, and they never came before communication stopped entirely. And this has grown into a social media phenomenon as it is growing to more than just a local community in South Carolina, as people all over the country are awakened to this. They're starting hashtags, they're starting all of the things to not only get you canceled, but to possibly get you some well-deserved jail time. Because what started as isolated complaints is now being treated as a growing pattern involving dozens of alleged victims. And as many reports surface, authorities are continuing to build the case. So there is no question about it. We know exactly what she was up to. She knew what she was up to. Her defense is her business got overwhelmed and there were just shipping issues and blah, blah, blah. But when you do it to over 150 people, it's more than a problem. We have entered the scam zone. So will she ever pay for these crimes? Fines are not going to do it. We already know, because when you get arrested over 10 times for the same crime, you haven't learned your lesson. So let's lock her up.
You haven't started to investigate the plan. Would you like to have anything to say?
No.
Okay. At this time, attorney, would you like to have anything to say?
Yes, Your Honor, if you would like to hear about, do you want me to speak now about her
Please do.
bond? Your Honor, I do represent Ms. Schronce. She is, anytime law enforcement has notified us that there is a warrant for her, she has no prior record. She does have pending charges. I'm sure the court may be aware. And anytime they have told us that they were getting a warrant or there was a warrant, immediately arranged to turn herself in. So there's, she is not a flight risk. She has always complied with anything that the court has ordered and turned herself in without issue. Your Honor, she is a well, I don't know if I can say lifelong, but she has lived in Anderson County, went to high school, has been married 8 years. She has 2 young children. Her family lives in Anderson County. Her husband is actually here at the courthouse today. She does have family support. She is not a danger to the community. I would ask that the court set a personal recognizance bond. There's no concern that she's not going to show up anytime the court orders her to, add any condition that the court sees fit, and she will comply with it without any problems, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, Attorney Davis. Duly noted. Ms. Ross, you have been charged with warrant number 2026 A0110100013 for breach of trust, obtaining property under false token value more than $2,000 but less than $10,000. As a defendant, you do have, and I took a consideration of the investigator also, and I made my decision to set her bond at $5,000. And this is a personal recognizance bond. I am going to release her on her own recognizance. And the condition that I'm placing upon her that she must abide by, you must appear in court on May the 8th, 2026 at 9 o'clock. You must have no contact with the victims directly or indirectly. You must keep the peace and must not get arrested while out on bond, other than if you have more charges forthcoming from this same.
All right, Ms. Schronce, you were charged with 2 counts of obtaining goods under false pretenses. You have an initial court date of March 25th, 2026, 10 a.m. Just out of curiosity, are you aware if that conflicts with any other court cases you have?
What was the date again, sir?
March 25th, 2026?
It does not.
It does not, okay. That'll be your first appearance opportunity. You show up to court. It's just going to be an opportunity to enter a plea of guilty, not guilty. At that point, if you pled not guilty, you have an opportunity to request either a jury trial or a bench trial. You do have a condition on your bond not to have any contact with your victims. If you also fail to show up to court, your court case can be tried in your absence. The bench warrant may be issued for your arrest. You have the right to a jury trial. You also have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, you can apply for one through the clerk's office for a $40 non-refundable screening fee. Charges against you are dismissed, discharged, null pros. If you're found not guilty, you have it expunged from your record. Also, your responsibility to notify the court of any change of address. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Still do me a favor, initial on the front and sign on the back. All right, ma'am. It is my understanding that you turned yourself into Abbeville County prior to being picked up by Pickens County. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes, sir.
Given the fact that you turned yourself in, coupled with the fact that I think it's necessary to expedite obviously cases, I'm going to give you a personal recognizance bond in the amount of $4,250. You do not have to put that money up. You'll be signing your own release with the understanding that if you fail to show up to court or you violate the conditions of your bond may be revoked, okay?
Yes, sir.
So initial right there, or sign right there, that's acknowledging that court date of March 25th, 2026 at 10 a.m. and stating that you promise to be at court.
Yes, sir.
You have a condition of no contact with victims. Do you have any questions?
No, sir. Thank you.
All right, good luck to you.
the story Fox Carolina has been following for 2 months, but this is the first time we're seeing Pamela Schronce, who goes by Brooke, outside of a mugshot. She was not in the room with our crew, but you can see her right there on the monitor. Investigators say a lengthy investigation now led to a felony arrest. She's charged with obtaining property under false pretenses, and before now, she's only faced several misdemeanor charges. Schronce is accused of scamming Anderson County victims out of more than $10,000, and all of this happened from September of 2023 through this past December. Our team watched as two of her former customers spoke in court. A judge issued her a $25,000 bond. She's not allowed to have contact with the victims.
All right, good evening. I'm Judge McElrath. Today's date is February 13, 2026. Time is now 9:45 p.m. We're here in reference to a case against the defendant, Ms. Pamela Brooke Schronce. Charges being 3 counts of obtaining goods under false pretense. Warrant numbers 20268, 233, 020, 1524, 1525, and 1526. Ms. Schronce, before we proceed, let me just remind you that you do have the right to remain silent. You have the right to give you a total bond amount of $6,000, all of which is the personal recognizance bond. So that means you're signing your signature promising to show up to your court date. Make sure you show up so that a bench warrant is not issued for your arrest, okay?
I'm a nice girl with some nice dreams, but it's fuck you if you don't like me.
In a library? Oh, heck no. No. Those girls are all boobs and no brains. I'm too busy.